Hi there, I'm Natalie, and today's video is about Natalie Wood. It's been already more than 40 years since the iconic actress passed away. Born in San Francisco, California, to Russian-Ukrainian immigrants, Wood made her film debut at the age of 4, and over the next 2 decades, starred in many Hollywood films. But how was it that Wood achieved such a decent success? What is known about the mysterious circumstances of her passing away, and who is really to blame? Let's watch it. A talented actress, 3 times Oscar nominee and winner of 3 Golden Globes, a true Hollywood-style icon, Natalie Wood managed to reach unprecedented heights in her career, becoming one of the most iconic people of her time. Unfortunately, as is often the case with talented people, Natalie's fate was very tough. Difficult childhood, violence experienced at a young age, a mysterious death, the circumstances of which remain unclear to this day. Here's the tragic story of the life of the famous actress. Natalia Nikolaevna Zakharenko was born on July 20, 1938, in San Francisco, California. Her parents, Maria Zudilova and Nikolai Zakharenko, moved to the United States shortly before her birth, having previously changed their surname to Gordin. In America, the father of the future movie star worked as a carpenter and took on any way of earning money, and the mother dreamed of an acting career for her daughter and was looking for opportunities to implement this idea. Since childhood, Natalie's mother took her to the cinemas, where they watched cult films together and analyzed the acting of actors. This was a kind of education that helped Wood in many ways in the future, as she herself later admitted. However, sometimes her mother's desire to make a star out of Natalie prevailed over common sense. The woman often exerted psychological pressure on her daughter, forced her to communicate with people she did not like, forcibly took her to auditions, and insisted in every possible way that an acting career was the only way for Wood in life. By the way, the efforts of the parent quickly bore fruit. Natalie got her first role at the age of 4, and in 1947, the novice actress was involved in such large-scale projects as Miracle on 34th Street and The Ghost and Mrs. Moore, which was followed by a whole series of new offers from producers and directors. However, such bright prospects also had a downside. The young actress suffered from a lot of phobias, depression, and panic attacks since childhood. The fame that fell on the child was too heavy a burden for her to carry all her life. It is noteworthy that in parallel with an active acting career, by the age of 16 Wood had already starred in more than 20 films. Natalie successfully coped with her studies. Teachers noted that the girl had a special gift for exact sciences, and her responsibility and diligence allowed her to combine classes with filming without harming both spheres of her life. At the age of 16, tragedy struck the future movie star. According to her sister Lana and biographer Suzanne Finstad, Natalie was sexually abused by her mentor and a famous Hollywood actor, whose name Wood preferred to keep secret, and she experienced unimaginable pain every time she heard his name or tried to talk about the incident, and so over time she learned to simply hide this painful fragment of memory, even from herself. After recovering from the tragedy, the actress focused on her career. In 1955, Wood took part in the filming of Nicholas Ray's Rebel Without a Cause, which brought her first significant victory, an Oscar nomination. After this film, her career went up sharply. Wood's personal life was also eventful. In the mid-1950s, she was credited with an affair with Elvis Presley, and in December 1957, Natalie married actor Robert Wagner. But 5 years later, the spouses divorced. Wagner himself later recalled that at the time of their marriage, Natalie's success in the cinema was growing every day, while his acting career was gradually fading away. Robert loved Natalie, but he was terribly jealous of her, twitched when she came home late, made scandals. They often quarreled and soon divorced. One of the brightest moments in the actress's career was 1961, when Robert Wise's West Side Story was released. which became one of the most iconic works of that time. In the next 5 years, Natalie starred in several popular films, including Gypsy, The Great Race, Splendor in the Grass, Love with the Proper Stranger, the last of which brought the actress 2 more Oscar nominations. Soon Natalie began a new romance, which ended in 1969 with a wedding. Her husband was a producer from Great Britain, Richard Gregson, with whom Wood had a daughter, Natasha. However, this relationship didn't last long either, and 3 years later the lovers broke up. After the breakup with her second husband, Natalie began to act less. Offers came less and less, and the actress preferred to pay more attention to her daughter and personal life. By the way, a few months later, significant changes happened in Wood's life again. Her relationship with her first husband, Robert Wagner, resumed, and in 1974, the lovers got married in Malibu for the second time. In the same year, the couple had a daughter who was named Courtney. It seemed that harmony and complete mutual understanding reigned in their family. Those around noted the incredible affection and love of this couple, who charged everyone around with their energy. They seemed to have overcome the problems they had in the past. But in 1973, rumors began to circulate that Wood regularly cheated on her husband, to which Wagner responded in kind. In addition, their mutual friends often noted Robert's explosive character, who often found a reason for jealousy out of thin air and made loud scenes for his wife. The problems in the relationship were aggravated in 1979 when Natalie received the Golden Globe Award for her role in the film From Now to Forever. Attention to her person again increased, which greatly unnerved her husband. And in 1981, a terrible tragedy happened that shocked the whole world. On November 28, Natalie, together with Wagner and actor Christopher Walken, with whom she was supposed to star in the new movie, as well as the captain of the yacht Splendor, Dennis Davern, set sail to Santa Catalina Island in California. According to Robert Wagner, Natalie and Christopher spent a lot of time together that evening, which provoked a scandal between him and his wife. Afterward went to her cabin alone and later disappeared. Her body was found the next morning, with accidental drowning listed as the official cause of death. In addition, several hematomas and abrasions were found on the body of the actress, but the causes of their occurrence were never established and the case was closed. However, not everyone agreed with the version of the investigation. Natalie's sister Lana claimed that she was scared to death of water after an accident on the set of the film, as a result of which the actress broke her wrist, and would never have dared to leave the yacht on a boat alone. Also, the public was embarrassed by the fact that injuries were found on the body of the deceased, which in their opinion could have been inflicted by a jealous spouse during a quarrel. Natalie Wood's body was buried in the cemetery of Memorial Park in Westwood Village, and hundreds of her fans and friends came to say goodbye to the movie legend, including such stars as Frank Sinatra, Elizabeth Taylor, Laurence Olivier, and Gregory Peck. However, the mysterious circumstances of the actress's death haunted her fans, who repeatedly tried to figure out the situation on their own. A new round of investigation was initiated 30 years after Wood's death in 2011. The captain of the yacht, who was on the ship on the tragic evening, gave testimony that stirred up the whole world. According to his testimony, that evening Natalie and Robert did have a big fight because of the flirtation of Wood and Christopher Walken. However, according to Dennis Davern, at the end of the scandal, it was not the actress who left the deck, but Christopher himself. Then the couple continued to argue, and Wagner ordered the captain to leave them alone. When it became clear that Natalie was not on board, Robert forbade Dennis to turn on the searchlights and did not immediately call the coast police, instead raising the alarm only a few hours later. This information forced investigators to change their attitude to the investigation. A year later, the official cause of death was changed to drowning or other uncertain circumstances. But Robert Wagner continues to insist on his version of events and refuses to cooperate with the investigation. Wood was popular both in Hollywood and in the public eye, and her death in 1981 left a great void in the entertainment industry. We should all remember Natalie Wood for her artistry, her talent, and her courage. She was an inspiration to many, and she continues to be remembered for her brilliant performances. Her work still continues to influence new generations of actors and filmmakers. Let us never forget the incredible talent and life of Natalie Wood, and may her memory live on forever.